6:15. Gonna try to do some street hits tonight. Got the slicks put on last night. Brace put on for the Kirky seat, some safety stuff. So a whole lot stiffer now. Hopefully nothing ever happens, but you always prepare for the worst, not the best. So I'm gonna go grab my open trailer from my girlfriend's dad's house and then go to the house and load up. Debating on changing the trans fluid in it. Got about 4 outings on it. We're gonna be hot lapping it tonight. So debating on if I want to change it. It never smelled bad, but you don't ever want to burn the fluid and then fix it. So we'll see. So we got to the spot, got unloaded, and a cop ended up showing up on his way home. So we ended up going to a private road, which was awesome. So that's definitely something we can work with. Front end was a little too tight, so we loosened that up. Made a shock change in the back. And the tire pressure was a little high as well. Trying to get the tire to recoil a little bit more. So here's what we're fighting right here. You can see it initially takes the hit, and then as soon as it takes it, you see it wrinkled, it just instantly knocks the tire off. That's due to the converter coupling very hard. So the converter's too tight for the setup. We're gonna see if we can offset it with some other things though. I pulled out a bunch of timing where it initially lost the tire. We're gonna see how that works. Definitely better, but still room for improvement. See, it initially takes the hit again and then instantly spins again. So with that timing pulled out, it helps it get through there and it helps it recover. But we're still at the limits of the converter. So after that pass, brought it back to the shop, just thinking the converter is too tight. After I got back, I started looking at some of the videos and slowing everything down. And what I found is the rear end was no longer separating and it was holding steady. So what that will do when you're at 100% anti-squat is it is no longer trying to drive the tire into the ground. Because when you separate, the body of the car is trying to move away from the tire. What that does is pushes the tire into the ground. When you're not separating, the body is not driving it into the ground. So on really tight surfaces, and if you're on a slick, a lot of time you'll take separation out of it to soften the hit up on the tire because they're a softer sidewall. But when you're on very bad surfaces, you want to drive the tire into the ground. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Back testing. Marks from the last time we came out here. Added a little bit of separation to it, shortened the instant center a little bit.
basically out of bar angle changes. I can't extend the instant center out anymore, but you can see it's a pretty bad surface, pretty coarse. Transition's pretty good, so we'll see how it goes. Got AJ's car here too.
So from the inside video, you could probably tell, for one, we went on a whole lot less RPM, and two, it shifted very early. So I was trying a different strategy, seeing if it would loosen the converter any, because I knew that was still going to be an issue. The converter actually coupled harder in first, and it made it harder to drive through. And as soon as it shifted, it gathered itself back up. But I'm trying to make it a smooth transition. So I tried pulling more timing when it was coupling, and a little sooner. Slowing it down, you can see it instantly dead hooks the tire, and then loses it when the converter starts to couple, and then as soon as it shifts, grabs the tire again. So at this point, the separation's doing what I want it to do, the converter's still not. So I just take a shot in left field. I go back to the second gear leave that we were trying the last Saturday that we were testing, and I gave it a bunch of RPM to try to make the converter act looser. So we changed the launch RPM from 4,000 RPM, leaving out a second, to 4,500, and pulled out about 8 degrees of timing in total on the hit and up until about 0.6. I also pulled out 10 clicks of rebound on the back shocks on this one to make it drive the tire in a little bit harder on the initial hit. Well, that was a huge confidence booster on that last one. We got the converter to act a whole lot looser instead of just, I mean, the RPM curve is literally like this. It's real nice and gradual now. So that's definitely the fix, not necessarily fix. The fix is getting the converter stator changed, which is in the works, but I'm racing the next 2 weekends. So I won't have time for the converter not to be here. It's not a bolt together, it's a weld together. Which it will be a bolt together after these next 2 weekends for this exact reason. If it was a bolt together, I could just pull it out, swap the stators, put it back in, go testing, see if it worked, but it's not, but it will be. So y'all comment, like, and subscribe. We'll be at Hobbs this weekend, and then possibly Park After Dark the weekend after that. We'll just have to wait and see.